Take a quick poll of Heisman voters this week, and I am sure that the name Tim Tebow would crop up. Not only is the Florida quarterback winning the hearts and minds of voters around the country, but he's seemingly pulling away from the Heisman pack after every performance. You know about his records, his rushing, and his toughness, but what don't you know about Tim Tebow? Tim joins us now from Gainesville, Florida. Tim, let me ask you that. What is something that the general public does not know about Tim?
One thing they probably don't know about me is that I was born in the Philippines, and I've been back there every summer since I was 15.
Tim, one thing that more and more people are finding out about is the fact that you were homeschooled coming out of high school, if you will. Was that a tough transition going to a school like the University of Florida where it's so big and balancing classmates and schoolwork?
I don't think so. It wasn't too tough at all. I had 4 older siblings that were homeschooled, and then they went on to college, and so I kind of had the ability to talk to them and see what they went through and how they handled it, and so I kind of had that perspective, and then I went into college with an open mind, and I've had a great time so far.
Tim, let's talk about football a little bit. And talking to your coach, Urban Meyer, earlier this season, Coach Meyer was telling me about the adjustments that you had made in your passing motion, the mechanics. Florida had sent us some emailed pictures of the motion throwing lab down there, and you changed. How tough is that when you're used to throwing a certain way to have to change? And talk about that process.
Well, it's tough. It takes a lot of discipline, a lot of hard work and repetitions to change it where you feel comfortable with it. But our guys do a great job. Coach Mullen did a great job helping me change. And so I'm just thankful for the support I had around me to help me change and the support to keep going and to feel comfortable with my new motion.
Tim, I'm sure sometimes you read press clippings about what you do well and do bad, whether or not you believe them or not. One of the questions coming into this season is, could Tim Tebow pass? Could he be a drop-back passer? We knew that you could run. Did you take that criticism to heart?
No, not really. I try not to think too much of it. If anything, just use it as motivation to even work that much harder, in the film room, just throwing around, just everything, to work harder. To go out there and, to show people that I can throw.
You've got a big game against Florida State this week. Florida State linebacker Geno Hayes this week said, quote, "We're going to have that attitude that Tim Tebow is going to go down this week. That's what we're going to say. Tim Tebow is going down this week. Y'all can put that down." And Hayes was speaking to a bunch of reporters. Have you found that kind of attitude from defensive players as the season has gone by?
Well, we've heard some different press clippings from different teams and stuff like that. I really try not to think about it too much. Don't change the way we game plan them or the way I play against them. Just still play the way we know how to play, the way we're taught, and don't worry about what other people say.
And Tim, I'm curious, from a football perspective, have you seen defenses kind of change or try different ways to try to slow you and the offense down as the season has gone on? In other words, are your opponents learning from past opponents?
I think so. I think some different teams have tried to change it up and do some different schemes, and they've done some nice schemes, and they've confused us a little bit at times. But with having great coaching, they find a way and the weakness in that defense, and then after a little while, we've been able to exploit them. So we just got great coaches who are able to figure that out and get the knowledge into us, and then we were able to react on the field.
I think you'd be hard pressed, and I don't know that the public would believe you if you said you hadn't thought at all about Heisman. What kind of thoughts have come to mind, number one, and maybe what is a Heisman memory that you have of previous Heisman winners?
Well, you hear a lot about it, but you try to just block that out and stay focused, on the task at hand, which is playing Florida State. And, I've heard, and watched the Heisman Trophy since, probably 1996 when I watched Danny Warfield win it, and someone I looked up to. So, it's a phenomenal award. It's a very prestigious award, and, I'm thankful just to have the opportunity to be mentioned with it.
And, Tim, I'm assuming you're fully aware that Florida is doing whatever they can to help get you votes, sending out emails and press clippings and things like that around the country?
Yes, sir. There's a lot of support, and Gator Nation is very strong, so I'm thankful for all the support.
Well, Tim, we wish you the best of luck against Florida State, and certainly with the Heisman Trophy presentation coming up. Thanks so much for joining us on Crystal Ball.
Thank you.